Hello everyone, hope you're well. I seem to be getting less and less time for painting these days, which is really annoying me. I have managed to finish this 4th Landwehr battalion. So it's also a Silesian battalion, as you can see from the yellow facings. Knocked this up one quickly, so the painting's not the best in it, but again, I go by the 3-foot rule that if it looks good at 3 feet, then that's perfect. And I'll do a shout out to Seventh Son, who once said in a video that he dry brushes everything in deck tan at the end, and I've started to do that now, and it really does bring out the details just a little bit sharper. So here's just a couple of the stands. These are a mixed unit of various Warlord Games Prussians. You've got the newer ones here, Commander in the middle, a metal one, and then one of the older ones. As you can see, some of the details on the older hats and things, you know, the mold lines and stuff were very sort of just a bit odd. But I like Warlord Games figures, easy to pick out details and stuff. So this is the command stand. Flags are by GMB Designs, and yeah, so that's another battalion of Landwehr done. I have 2 more to do, and then that'll be the 2 regiments complete. And I think that'll be those for a while. So haven't been painting much else. The only other thing I managed to get painted in the last sort of weeks or so, week and a half, was this regiment of Lancers. These are the 3rd Lancers? I can't remember. They have the orange facings, and I remember reading somewhere that they were present at Leipzig in the 1813 campaign, so that's where I am basing my collection so far. And even if they weren't there at Leipzig, they can for the sake of my battles. I don't know, I just like the orange, so I thought I went for it. I don't know if I sprayed these models too heavy or something, but some of the details in these just didn't quite pop as much, which annoyed me a little bit, but ho-hum, there you go. I'll give you some close-ups. There we go. Camera's focusing well. See, buttons and things just sort of faded in, so I had to sort of just pick them out. And for the fur caps, there was no texture, and it's not really coming out well on camera here, but I kind of had to just sort of, you know, paint various yellows and browns to make it look sort of textured there. At a distance, it looks fine. They weren't the easiest unit to paint because of that lack of detail. And again, it just probably was my fault. I think I sprayed them too heavily or just standing too close, but there you go. So, front rank have lances, but I thought it looked a little bit just sort of unlancer-like, so I give the two sort of flanking guys at the rear lances as well, if you can see that. Just to give the overall effect of the lancers being done. So, next to be painted, I have these. I'm doing a cupboard clear out at the minute, so that's the normal painting desk. It's just a mess. That wardrobe has got my wife has thrown a lot of stuff from her work in here. It's neither here nor there, which probably has impacted the painting a little bit, but ho-hum. So this is my next painting task. As you can see, I've already started these French. These are Warlord Games again. So that's another battalion there, and I've just made up this unit of French from Perry's. And then I got a little bit of a Napoleonic boar. Oh, well, before that, sorry, I should mention, this is another commander for the Landwehr. So this is just the commanders that you get from Warlord Games, and I just stuck both of them on a round 60mm base. And it just gives a second commander for the Prussians. So that's them. So I got a little bit of Napoleonic boar, and rather than sort of slog through it and continue it and break it out, I thought I would do some different things. I don't know if I showed you. I think I did. I showed you my Persians for my ancients, which I'd done so far. So I thought I would go back and just even try painting a unit of those. And then I ended up building some more, so I might finish building the whole force and then at least it's done. So this is a little bit far away, But let me see if I can bring them forward. These aren't glued to the base. So, as you can see, this is what I'm planning to do. This is what a unit of Persians will look like for me when I get them done. Sorry about moving. If I was very technical, I would just edit all this out. But I'm not, so tough. So here we go. So this is what a unit's going to look like. Obviously painted up. The front rank have to get a few more Sparabaras, which I'm adding after I paint. These were stuck on when I had built this other unit, and these were stuck on as well, and I just found it a little bit tricky to get the details of the arms and stuff, so I've left them off. I'll paint them up separately, and just a dollop of super glue should get them on at the end. But the idea is the Persians fought with sort of a row of Sparabaras, and behind them spears and bowmen who shot over, and yeah, they kind of used mixed formations, which is nice, and it's nice to get that. These models by Victrix are lovely. If this will focus. Oh gosh, there we go. Loads of details. Just a little bit harder to. Not harder. It's when you make so many Napoleonics, and especially like Perry Napoleonics and Warlords Napoleonics, they're usually 2-part, 3-part miniatures, and these guys you have to stick both hands on, the head, the shield, sometimes the weapons. It just takes that bit longer, but it's nice. You get nice varied poses there. And then what I did was I converted an elephant. Now I say converted an elephant. What I did was, there were elephants in the Persian army, and there was actually 15 at the Battle of Gaugamela, but they didn't take part in the battle. But this is a historical refight of Alexander versus the Persians, so they're going to use their elephants in this battle. So I basically took the Carthaginian bodies, because their armor, if you can see here, matches quite well with the armor of some of the Persians. It's not a far cry away. And then I did some chopping with hands and things, and took off javelins and attached a spare bow from the Persian sprue, and gave him a Persian head that was spare on the sprue as well. So I think they'll pass muster as Persians riding elephants, as opposed to Carthaginians riding elephants. And then I stuck some Persian hoplon shields and some wicker shields onto the howdah, just to give it that little bit more of a Persian feel, and then a Persian head on the mahout as well. So that's a nice kit. It was nice to put together. I think it scales quite realistically as well to what elephants would have looked like. So yeah, happy enough with that there. So that's where I am hobby-wise. Hope everyone else's projects are going well. And yeah, happy wargaming.